Hello friends, I'm Twanner. Today we're going to do a slow burn Hatha Yoga flow. Of course, just a big breathing exercise with wonderful movement. And this sequence is kind of a good basic structure. It has helped me gain more strength and flexibility and ease of mind. So please feel free to add or subtract from it. Of course, make it your own. You can modify however you need to, and most importantly, just have fun with it. Okay, we'll start in child's pose. So find yourself near the back-ish of your mat, letting your knees go out wide. If you can, letting your hips relax towards your heels and your forehead to the floor. Beginning with some deep breathing. That is the whole intention here. Maybe taking awareness to your back body so you can feel your rib cage laterally expand with each inhale. Exhale, letting your hips relax. We'll take one more deep, conscious breath. Maybe expressing gratitude within yourself that you have the privilege to be here to practice. And also, I'd like to offer the thought to you, with the next inhale, inhale the thought that you are already more than enough. And we're just here to feel a little bit better. And so your next inhale will rise to your tabletop. So that's where you'll stack your hips over your knees, shoulders over your wrists, with a long spine reaching through the crown of your head. You can always keep the tops of your toes, your shoelaces to the floor, or tuck the toes underneath you. And as your next inhale comes around, we'll begin some cat-cow breathing. So your inhale creates a backward bend sensation. You can use your eyes to look up. You can always do less with your neck. Exhale, you begin to fold as you push your spine up towards the ceiling, finding a forward fold, stomach in. Okay, let an inhale create extension of the spine. Subtle backward bend. Exhale for flexion, pushing the floor away, stomach in. Let's do 2 more rounds. Inhale deeply through your nose. Now exhale, I like to offer exhaling through your mouth loud. Much like pranayama, deep breathing, if you're familiar with that. Inhale through your nose. A little constriction of your throat. Again, loud exhale through your mouth. Because we'll continue that breathing. Meaning back into neutral spine. Tabletop. We'll exhale, hips back to downward dog. If you need to bend your knees at first, just put tremendous weight through your thumb and index finger. So you can take as much pressure, weight off of your wrist. Take it back towards your heels. And a couple more deep breaths here. Inhaling through your nose. Exhale loud through your mouth. To move into the next sequence of plank. Inhale. We'll take a couple breaths per posture here, keeping your shoulders stacked over your wrists. Again, high up on the toes. As a challenge, so even get on the big toe, even second big toe. Feel your strong quads contract. If you ever need to lower your knees to the floor, this is also another option. Just do not sacrifice your spine, your shoulders, your neck from performing these postures. And of course, you're not here to perform anything, just moving, breathing with your body. We'll take a nice push-up, bending the elbows by your side, ideally making the exhale here. Inhale to push right back up, and then exhale will take you back to downward dog. Now inhale, your knees will lower to tabletop. Exhale, your hips back to child's pose. So that's our sequence, and ideally 1 long breath per movement. You can modify how you need to. Inhale up, tabletop. Exhale loud, A-child through downward dog. Inhale will take you to plank. Exhale, lower down in the push-up. And don't be concerned with how far down you go. Inhale to push right back up. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, knees lower, tabletop. Exhale, hips back, child's pose. Inhale up, tabletop. Exhale, hips back, downward dog. Inhale, roll forward to plank. You can just keep your belly in, long spine down. Inhale up, exhale back. Inhale, knees lower, tabletop. Exhale, hips back, child's pose. We'll do it 4 more times. Inhale up to tabletop. Exhale, hips back, downward dog. Now if your plank is strong, with or without knees to the floor, as you roll forward to plank, inhale. You can exhale, optionally lift one foot off the floor now. Inhale to push right back up, keep the leg lifted. As you exhale, now that will take you back to a split dog. Inhale, watch both knees lower at the same time. Exhale, hips back, child's pose. Then again, inhale up, tabletop. Exhale out to downward dog. Now if you are lifting the foot off the floor, taking the other foot off the floor as you exhale lower. Inhale up. Exhale, reach back to a split dog. Inhale, watch both knees lower at the same time. Tabletop, exhale back to child's pose. We'll do it 2 more times. Have fun with it. Inhale up. All right, feel the breath, move your body. Exhale back to downward dog. Inhale to plank. And you can have it be a one-legged plank. As you inhale up, exhale back, split dog or downward dog. Inhale, both knees lower, tabletop. Exhale, hips back, child's pose. Warm around. Inhale brings you up to table. Exhale takes you back to downward. Inhale rolls you forward to plank. Exhale to lower. Inhale to push up. Exhale to reach back, split dog or downward with both feet. Inhale, both knees to tabletop. Exhale, your hips back, child's pose. Checking in with your breath. Noticing any new sensations. And ideally, hopefully gathering a decent sweat already, warming your body up from the inside out. We'll inhale up to tabletop. Exhale back to downward dog. We'll slowly walk your feet towards the top of your mat, meeting with your hands. So finding your feet parallel to each other. A few more deep breaths, lingering in this forward fold. So you can let the arms relax. Certainly let your head be heavy, your neck long. Some other options, you can reach for your elbows. Sometimes I personally like to bring my upper body from side to side, outside of your right leg, outside of the left leg. Kind of playfully bending through the knees. And then we'll begin our way up. You can let your arms dangle. Strong core and legs as you slowly start to stack your spine. Slowly articulating through each vertebra. Feel from your lumbar, lower, thoracic, middle, cervical. Head comes up last. And we'll inhale and circle stretch, arms overhead. And then with a loud exhale, hands to heart center. So back to that pranayama deep breathing that we used with that last sequence. As you inhale, reach up. And then exhale, hands to heart center. Loud exhale. You can call these sun breaths. Inhale to reach arms up. And again, exhale, hands to heart center. We'll do a few more. Again, if you want more of a challenge, you can inhale as you roll forward to the toes. So much to where you do fall out, because you're not here to perform anything. Exhale, slowly lower. Again, another challenge to inhale up on the toes. You can see as high as you can go. Again, you will fall out multiple times. This is how we get stronger. Exhale, hands to heart center. Once more, feet in parallel. Inhale, reach up. Past the ceiling, right? Bigger than your body. Exhale, slowly lower, hands to heart center. And just keep the feet flat. We'll inhale to reach up for Sun A, looking back, using your eyes to create a subtle backward bend. And then we'll exhale, forward fold, hands to the floor. Now inhale halfway up, lengthen through your spine, out to the crown of your head. Exhale to fold back in towards your legs. And we'll move to the top of our push-up, which now I'm going to lower down to my forearms for a plank. that we will hold for several deep breaths. So again, if you need to lower your knees to the floor, just without letting your belly pooch or your lower spine bend. Same with your upper spine. So you can kind of almost round through your cervical, thoracic, lumbar. Again, I like to get as high as I can on the big toe, second big toe, third big toe. Already been here for a few breaths. Let's do at least 5 more. So I like to kind of play with through the fingers to count your breath. That's how 1, 2, 3, 4. Stay with it. 5. And then we're going to roll to side plank. I'm going to go onto my left forearm, rolling to the outside edge of my left foot. You can keep the feet stacked. You can also bend the knees to the floor as you just keep your hips forward and up. Another variation, you can bend the right knee and place the right foot in front of you as if you're kind of standing on the right foot. So finding your variation of choice, again, not sacrificing your spine, shoulders, neck. As long as those feel good, we'll take another deep 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well done. We'll go right to the right side of our side plank. So putting right forearm down. Again, as you stack, shoulder over your right elbow. Again, however you did on the other side, we'll do it here now. 1. Again, hips a little forward and up. 2, 3, 4, 5. Excellent. You can bring the left forearm back down, roll back on top of the toes, and slowly push yourself up. Now introducing a basic vinyasa to go all the way to the floor, elbows by your side, using a mini cobra to offer a subtle backward bend. So pushing the tops of your feet down. So you inhale, all spine straight to peel your chest off the floor. You can always keep the neck long. If your neck feels good, you can look towards the sky. We'll exhale back down. Pull the belly in, inhale, push up. Exhale back to your downward dog. We'll be here for another few deep breaths. So keep pushing the weight back towards your heels. Staying long through your arms, your spine. Subtle gaze either towards your thighs or stomach. And you can always close your eyes, which I recommend doing quite often just to keeping the practice internal. And you can slowly step, hop your feet to your hands, meaning in a forward fold. Inhale again, halfway up, long spine. Exhale to fold. Now more of an active inhale to come all the way up, arms in together. You can end with a subtle backward bend as you look up. And then exhale, hands down to heart center, Samasthiti. Deep breath. Feet are parallel to each other. Let's do that cycle one more time. So you can inhale, reach up. Subtle backward bend. Exhale, forward fold. Long spine, weight towards your toes. Hands to the floor. Inhale to come up halfway. Exhale to fold. Either step the opposite foot back or both feet at the same time to the top of your push-up. This will meet back in plank, lowering, which I like to do on the forearms. Again, pulling belly in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. To side plank over the left forearm. Roll to the outside edge of your left foot. Again, modify as you need to. 1, 2. Soft gaze forward. 2, 3, 4. Imagine a rope around your hips, pulling the hips up, hips up. Excellent. Roll onto the right forearm. Again, stack it. Imagine your body's in between two panes of glass. 1, 2. Make sure you're smiling. 3, 4. 4. Again, hips forward and up, hips up, hips up. 5. Well done. We'll roll back onto the forearms. Gently push yourself up on the toes. And now I'll introduce the upward dog. Again, if this is ever too much for your spine and shoulders, you can lower all the way to the floor using that mini cobra we did in the first round. With upward dog, you keep your elbows by your side, then roll on tops of the toes, keeping the rest of your body hovered from the floor as you inhale, pulling your heart center through. And then exhale will take you back to downward dog. Inhale, knees lower to the floor. Exhale, hips back, child's pose. Well-deserved child's pose. We'll inhale up to tabletop. Exhale again, back to downward dog. Another deep breath here. Keep pushing the weight back towards your heels. Notice too, if your hamstrings are feeling a little more loose, comfortable, flexible. And then we begin to walk or hop your feet to the top of your mat, meeting with your hands. Inhale the halfway lift. Exhale the fold. Inhale, gather your core to reach arms and head all the way up towards the sky. Subtle backward bend with the eyes. Exhale, arms down. Or you can always meet hands into heart center. Deep breath of gratitude for yourself. As we'll begin the next flow, which we'll start with inhaling, reach arms overhead, palms together. Exhale, step your right foot to the right, feet just outside of your hips for a yoga squat. So as you exhale, keeping the feet flat, lower as far down as you can with feet flat. Then as you inhale, hands to the floor, we'll lift the hips up, relax your neck, head heavy. Nice. Exhale to send the hips back down. And ideally a long inhale to reach all the way up to the shooting star. Balancing over the left foot. Keep your right leg up. Again, if arms are too much for balance, you can keep hands to heart center, hands towards your hips. Or expressing the arms, hands out. One more deep breath here. And we'll bring the right foot to meet with your left for a half moon, side bend to the right. So inhale up, finding any mudra of your choice with the grip. You can interlace all 10 fingers, releasing index, thumbs crossed, or grab right hand to left wrist. Many options there. Inhale up, exhale, we'll bend to the right. Again, keeping your body in between two panes of glass. So you gently nudge left hip forward. Think of taking right scapula forward. Keeping chin up, confident. Push the floor down, inhale, reach up and over. Nice. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, we'll end with sitting the hips in the chair. Woo, baby. With a dynamic airplane breath here. Inhale, arms up. Loud exhale. And then inhale, reach all the way up to the other side. Left foot steps to the left. Again, just outside the hips. Exhale, yoga squat. Inhale, hips up. Upper body relax down. Next exhale to send the hips back down. We'll inhale to reach all the way up over the right foot. So keeping that right leg stacked. Left leg still active, right? You can always point the toes or flex the foot. Again, any expression of the arms. Just imagine again your body in between two panes of glass. And then we'll set up for our side bend, half moon, feet together. Find your grip. If you grab the wrist, you can grab left hand or right wrist. So inhale up out of your waist, hold that length, and just slowly bend your body to the left. Just beyond your flexibility. Push both feet down evenly. As you gently push right hip forward. Take left scapula forward. Chin up. Imagine pulling your spine apart like a slinky. Coming down a little bit deeper on an exhale. Nice. We'll inhale to reach up. Exhale back to your chair. Chair plane. Inhale, reach arms up. Keep the hips down. One more loud exhale. Reach arms back. Nice. We'll inhale to reach all the way up. Solid backward bend. Exhale, hands down to Samasthiti or in prayer. Nice, my friends. We'll do it once more, each side. So inhale, reach arms up. Exhale, step right foot to the right, yoga squat. Exhale, lowers. Inhale, hips up. Exhale, hips down. Inhale to reach all the way over to the left leg. Reaching in every direction. Imagine you're bigger than your body. We'll put the foot down. Feet together. Inhale, right hand to left wrist or hands together as you reach up and over to the right. For your half moon, side bend. We'll inhale to reach all the way up. Exhale, feet together, knees together. Exhale, in your chair plane. Inhale, reach arms up. And one more, just for good measure. Exhale, back. Inhale, we'll stand all the way up. Exhale, left foot to the left, yoga squat. Inhale, knees lift. Exhale, hips back down. Long inhale to stand on the right leg, left leg up, arms out, or any expression you choose. And then we'll put the left foot to the left, side bend to the left, arms up, left hand and right wrist or hands together. Inhale up, exhale, slowly bend to the left, push your hips to the right. Just beyond your flexibility. Keep it persistent. Up and over, up and over. Then we'll inhale to reach. Back to your chair plane. Exhale, sit the hips down, arms back. One more of those. Inhale, reach. And then loud exhale. We'll reach. Inhale all the way up, subtle backward bend. Exhale, hands down, Samasthiti. Nice work, my friends. Next flow, similar to a Namaskar B, familiar with that? We'll start with the hips back in the chair. Exhale, sit. Inhale, reach arms up. Let the next inhale stand up tall. Exhale again, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, hands to the floor. You can step one foot back at a time or both feet back, finding your push-up. Adding a vinyasa here, as you exhale, lower, inhale to upward dog or mini cobra. Exhale, hips back, downward dog. Next inhale, we're gonna step right foot forward to a crescent lunge. For more of a challenge, pop up onto your fingertips. And it also helps create a little more space to put the right foot down underneath your right knee, ankle slightly in front, high on the left toes. As you drive your left heel forward, left hip forward, squaring your hips towards the wall. As you inhale, reach up. Again, if arms overhead is a little too difficult, you can keep hands towards your right thigh, on the hips, or if you'd like to express with reaching arms up, subtle backward bend with your eyes, your breath. And we'll move through a vinyasa. Exhale, hands to the floor. As you lower down on the tops of your toes. Next inhale. Create your backward bend, upward dog. Exhale, hips back, child's pose. Downward dog, rather. Again, if you can, pop up on the fingertips. Inhale, step your left foot forward through your crescent lunge. Slowly build your posture from the floor. As you inhale, you can reach arms up. Then ideally long exhale to lower down to the floor. Either your cobra or your upward dog. Inhale up. Exhale, hips back, downward dog. And we'll stay here for another couple deep breaths. You can push the weight back towards your heels. We'll slowly step, hop, feet to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold. Inhale to reach arms and head together all the way up. Subtle backward bend. Exhale, hands down to prayer. Samasthiti. One more round of that. Exhale, hips sit down. Chair. Inhale, reach arms up. Keep the hips down. Next inhale to stand tall. Touch the ceiling. Exhale, forward fold, long spine. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, hands to the floor. Stepping the opposite foot back or hopping both feet back. Lowering down through your push-up. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale back, downward dog. Step the right foot forward. If you can, pop up to the fingertips. So we'll place the foot down, drag left heel forward. Inhale, reach arms up. Exhale, hands down. Step right foot back. Exhale down, push up. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, hips back, downward. Step left foot forward. Inhale up, crescent lunge. Long exhale, hands to the floor, lower. Inhale, backward bend. Upward dog, exhale back, downward dog. Push the weight back, you can bend the knees a little bit. A couple more deep breaths here. You can always lower down to tabletop or child's pose if downward dog is not quite resting enough. Then we'll step, hop feet to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, lower. Inhale and come all the way up, arms in together. Subtle backward bend. Exhale, hands to Samasthiti. Now we're going to come back to these long lunges. We'll take a little core intermission. So take the feet out to a yoga squat. Exhale the hips down. I'm pulling heart space through. And then softly bring your sit bones to the floor. Use your hands beside you. And this next staff pose, great for strengthening core, shoulders, arms. You can start with legs straight out. Slightly easier variation, keeping your knees bent. Easy pose. So choosing your difficulty is keep your hands by your side. Which if you have the yoga blocks, you can use yoga blocks to get a little more height. But don't be concerned with getting your sit bones off the floor. Just pushing into the floor will create the strengthening feeling. So I personally like to roll the shoulders back, neck long. Inhale, belly in. Exhale as you lift. And then keep breathing. We'll hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, push the floor away, push the floor away, push the floor away. 1, and last little variation, bringing the chin towards your chest, find a stretch to the neck. And we'll lower the hips down. Taking this to boat, so bring the feet, knees bent, feet flat at first. It's nice to pull your heart chest up, keeping a long spine. You may already be feeling some core, so if this is your level 1, stay here. Without collapsing through your spine, belly, if you want to bring the feet off the floor. Again, you can always use your hands to kind of pull your chest forward and up. If you want more of a difficulty, you can start to straighten the legs. You can take the arms out by your side. A personal favorite of mine is doing those sun breaths we started with to inhale, circle stretch arms overhead. Then you can use a loud exhale, hands heart center. Inhale, reach up. Loud exhale. One more, why not? Exhale. We usually do about 100 of those, but it's a shorter class today. We'll slowly lower all the way down into your back, please. Feel free to bring your knees towards your chest. Now, if you're familiar with eagle pose, we'll be doing that first with the right leg over. So stacking your right knee on top of your left. And then if you can, without forcing it, if you can thread your right foot behind your left calf muscle, eliminating that gap between ankle and calf muscle. Again, as long as you're feeling a good stretch through the belly of your muscles, this is great for opening through these major joints. As well with the upper body, take the right arm underneath your left arm, crossing at the elbows, the wrists, forearms. And if you can, bring your hands in prayer, or you can interlace the fingers. Now notice if there's a little gap underneath your spine. As you lift your feet up, you can keep the back of your head and shoulders to the floor. Or if you are leveling up, you can bring upper body up. Just push your spine flat. Either staying here in stillness, breathing deeply, or you can add some dynamic crunches as you inhale, reach arms away. Exhale, knee. Inhale, bring the right thigh parallel to the floor, keep your toes towards your face. If this is difficult enough, you can just stay here, building the strength, balance. Use your eyes, especially for balance. If you'd like to move on, you can grab right hand to the outside of your right knee, or all the way for your right big toe, with middle, index, fingers, and thumb. Again, if this is hard enough, stay here. If you have the stability of your breath, your standing leg, your core, you can start to kick right leg out in front, creating this upside down L shape. For a little more hip opening sensation, you can now take your right leg to the right. At any point it becomes too much, just slowly subtract. Come back to standing on your left leg. We'll meet back in the center, kicking right leg forward, coming to a funky chair. For a hip opening sensation, bring the outside of your right leg to the anterior of your left thigh. You can keep holding the right leg if you need to, hands to hips, or hands to heart center for a funky chair. Again, feeling some strengthening in the left leg, some maybe subtle hip opening in the right. And then we'll end this, coming all the way back up to the staff pose. Right leg up. Keeping the right leg floated, keep the knee bent. Move through your core, your hips, as you stretch your right leg all the way back from the wall or space behind you. Again, you can keep hands to hips in this Warrior 3 variation. Or you can even place both hands, feeling both hips equally one line to the floor. Fairly, as you reach back. Then we're going to slowly lower into our crescent lunge. And the right toes dig in. Left knee is stacked over the ankle or slightly behind. So inhale to reach arms up, crescent lunge. Exhale, hands to heart center. As you pivot your right foot down, we'll find our Warrior 2. As you inhale, reaching both arms out. Just check in with the feet if you need to modify, not crossing your midline. We'll add a reverse warrior first. So bring your left shoulder to the chin and then bend into the left side of your body. Then next inhale to Warrior 2. Exhale, settle down. Then inhale, we'll take it to that extended side angle, also known as triangle pose. And no shame if you want to add some pressure from your left forearm, top of your left thigh. So you push your right foot flat, right leg in a muscular lock, reach up past the ceiling. Right, think of touching the sky rather than touching the floor. Beautiful. Inhale, coming back to our Warrior 2. One more reverse. Stay strong. Shoulder to chin. Bend into the left side of your body. Next, inhale to Warrior 2. Take a vinyasa from here. Exhale as you windmill the hands to the floor. Using that next exhale to lower. Inhale through your backward bend, upward dog. Exhale back, downward dog. Excellent. Same flow on the other side. We'll begin at the top of your mat. It's a step, hop, float your feet to the top. Inhale halfway up. Exhale lower. Inhale, arms and head together, reach all the way up. Exhale, hands down, Samasthiti. Relaxing arms by your side. Begin to push all the way through your right foot. Inhale, left leg up. Of course, envisioning that you will mimic what you did on the other side. Always acknowledge where you're at. If one side is different from the other. So again, you can keep the knee bent or left hand, fingers to the right big toe, left big toe. Okay, you can do the same flow with the knee bent, or if you are ready to extend the left leg out, keeping straight in front. Keep pushing down evenly through your right foot. We'll take the left foot to the left, opening through the hips. Okay, notice your eyes. Try and focus on one spot. That drishti concentration. Coming back to the center. Left leg forward. And then we'll cross the left leg over your right thigh for our funky chair. You can use your hands as needed. Again, hands can always come to prayer as you bend the right knee, sitting low in that chair. So keeping the right foot flat. We'll inhale, stand tall. Left knee bent, stomach in. You can use your core to move your body as you take the left leg to the space behind you, reach. Again, keep those hips fairly in one line to the floor. Stay long through your neck. And then slower than you'd ever want to. Tap the left toes behind you, crescent lunge. You can take the hands to the hips or arms overhead. Nice. Next exhale, we'll let it open us up to warrior two. Again, check with the feet, make sure they're not crossing the midline. Arms reach out in opposite directions. We'll take it to a reverse warrior, let the left hand relax, right arm up, shoulder to the chin. Next, inhale to warrior two. Exhale, sink down into the hips. Inhale, move both arms to our extended side angle or triangle. Again, you can always use pressure from the forearm on top of the right thigh. Reach up, touch the ceiling. Make sure your neck is in line with your spine. Sometimes it's nice to even play with swiveling the head down, looking to the floor, to the side, or up towards your fingers. The neck stays long in line with the spine. Next, inhale to warrior two. Exhale. Inhale, reverse warrior. One more time. Next, inhale back to warrior two. Then a long exhale to windmill, hands to the floor, taking your optional push-up vinyasa or meeting in downward dog, child's pose. Exhale back. So from your downward dog or child's pose, you can introduce a little more spine strengthening. As you roll forward to your plank, push up. We'll lower all the way to the floor and set it up for cobra, which will hold a little bit longer. Pressing the feet together and into the floor like you have one leg, cobra tail. Elbows, biceps by your side. Hands just in line with the top of your fingers, just in line with the top of your shoulders. As you push your feet down, so much where your kneecaps can lift off the floor. You're going to use 100% spine strength to inhale, peel your chest up. At first, you keep the chin down, neck long. Keep breathing. If your neck feels fabulous, feel free to look forward, up towards the sky. You can imagine pulling heart center through and up. And as you're ready, we'll exhale lower. Now taking it to a full locust variation. So you can start with arms out to the side like airplane wings. Notice the space underneath your belly button. As you pull your belly off the floor, inhale full longest to lift everything up. Okay, and stay long through the neck at first. So you can get your thighs further away from the floor, chest further away from the floor, fingertips in line with the top of your shoulders, or head rather. If your neck feels good, you can look up towards the sky. That's where you're headed. Another deep breath, lift everything up, everything up, everything up. So we'll slowly lower. We'll take a prone savasana each side. So touch the chin, let the toes come in, heels fall away. As you look to the right side of your mat, bringing your left ear to the floor. And just relax. Feel your back body rise and fall. And we'll just take that to the other side. Chin forward. And then look to the left. Placing your right ear to the towel, your mat. And we'll slowly move back, chin forward. Hands to your push-up, belly off the floor. Inhale to push yourself up. Exhale, hips back, child's pose, downward dog. Your choice. And then we'll begin the next flow from downward dog. So if you're from child's pose, coming up to tabletop, exhale, hips back, downward dog. Next posture, also called triangle pose. We'll step right foot forward, about 3 feet-ish distance between the feet. And again, make sure there's some space between your feet, aren't crossing your midline. Again, it might be handy to have a block to use in the inside of your right foot. What I like to do if I don't have a block, you can just start by grabbing from the outside of your right ankle, shin, So you open up through the hips, through the shoulders. You can keep your neck in line with the spine. You can always look down to the side or up towards the sky. And then you can take left hand up towards the ceiling as you reach up. You should feel a good stretch in the legs with some strengthening in the core. And just to make sure it's so you can take less weight or all the weight out of your right hand. So upper body literally hovering, legs strong, stable. Reverse your steps, bring chin in, down to the floor, bring left hand down. And then we'll take this to a twisted lunge. So as you bend the right knee, keeping the knees stacked, you can separate your feet, a little bigger stance, left heel up. Keep your left shoulder over left wrist. Stomach in as you reach right hand up towards the ceiling. Slowly twisting from your lower spine, middle spine, upper spine. We'll bring the eyes down to the floor. Step the right foot back to an optional split dog. Or you can keep the right foot down to downward. But this will move us into a pigeon, taking the right knee towards the right wrist. And again, if you have a block, you need to use it underneath your right thigh to take some pressure off the right knee. If not, you can lower it all the way down. And it's nice to look over the right shoulder, just to help bring that left hip further more forward. And optionally too, an active backward bend pigeon, taking the hands up off the floor, pulling the heart space up. And then we'll slowly lower into a sleeping pigeon. But no sleepy, still deep breathing, staying present. And as this posture gets easier, start to bring that left hip even a little more forward. You can always feel free to stay here a little bit longer if you need to pause. We'll slowly move into the other side. Now, if your knees are anything like mine, you want to come out of this safely. I like to dig my left toes. You just come to this push-up position, take all the weight off that right leg, reach your right leg back into a split dog. From here you can optionally circle your knee in both directions. So noticing any new sensation. We'll do that same flow on the other side. So from downward dog, we'll step left foot forward to our triangle pose. Again, line the heels up. You can keep the left knee bent at first, with or without a block to the inside of your left foot, or you can just grab on top of the left shin, ankle. So you open through your hips, chest. You take the eyes up, followed by the right hand. Again, see a little more of a challenge, taking all the weight out of your left hand. Using your core to reach long from the spine. And then it's ready to reverse your steps. Bring your eyes to the floor, followed by your right hand. As we'll step left leg back. Moving to our pigeon. Bring left knee towards your left wrist. And as you lower, you can look over. Oh, we forgot our twisted lunge. So from downward dog, we'll step left foot forward, big step. Again, driving the right heel forward, right hip forward. You're going to place the right hand to the inside of your left foot. Just slowly twist from lower spine, middle, upper. You can optionally take the left hand up. With the eyes. It's ready, reversing your steps. Belly in, eyes down. Left hand down. Now back to the split dog. Inhale into our pigeon. Left knee to left wrist. Again, you can always use a block underneath your left thigh. Gently pulling right hip forward by looking over the left shoulder. Optional active backward bending pigeon. Chest up, arms up. And then exhale slowly into sleeping pigeon. Relax your forehead to the floor. And closing your eyes can get you caught up in your thoughts. You can always keep your eyes open. You can use your eyes to stay present, focusing one spot. Or with your eyes closed. The best way to practice meditation is following your breath. A few more deep breaths. Again, if your hips are feeling okay, so you can kind of nudge your right hip forward a little more. And we'll slowly start to make our way up. Okay, if you'd like that one transition on the other side, using your push-up, take all the weight off your left leg, reaching left leg back to a split dog. From there, you can circle your knee in both directions. Excellent. Then from downward dog, we'll lower all the way to the floor into your belly. Just scoot yourself all the way to either side of your mat. You can take your arms out long and just roll onto your back. There you go. Just want to use some backward bending with some bridge pose, bringing heels close towards your hips. See if you can graze them with fingertips, keeping your feet about hip width distance. Hands beside you as you inhale, push your feet into the floor. Take your hips up. Try and take it past the neutral spine. So looking for extension, which may help to walk your shoulders, triceps underneath you. Maybe interlacing your fingers as you push your feet flat through the floor. So definitely some strengthening here in the legs as you're creating this backward bend sensation. Just 2 more deep breaths. Push your feet flat, hips up. And we'll slowly lower hips down. We'll do it once more. So it's nice to bring your knees towards your chest before we do it again. Guys, ready? Feet flat, hip width distance apart, hands to the floor. Belly in as you inhale, push your feet through the floor. So you go a little deeper, again by walking, triceps, shoulders underneath you. Optionally interlace your hands. Push your hips up. Holding here for several more deep breaths. By all means, if you have wheel in your practice, you can take the hands to the outside of your head, fingertips towards your shoulders, feet flat as you push yourself up. And from wheel or bridge, reversing your steps, hands out. Placing your hips back to the floor. Inhale, bring your knees back towards your chest. And we'll add our wind removing pose here. So keeping the right knee towards your chest, extend your left leg out long with your fingers interlaced, or you can reach for your elbows. Pull your right knee towards your right shoulder. Trying to create this somewhat uncomfortable pinching sensation. Using your strength, pull it in, squeeze, freeze. And then slowly change. Right leg down, long. Bring the left knee towards your chest, pull your left knee towards your left shoulder, avoiding your rib cage. And then back towards the midline of your body. And using your thumbs, all your fingers, bicep muscles bulging, elbows by your side, shoulders down. You can lengthen through the neck if that feels good. As you pull, squeeze, freeze it there. And slowly change, left leg down. Inhale, both knees up towards your chest. Reach for the elbows as close to that as you can. As you pull your belly in and create a little more room, so you can sandwich stomach towards thighs. And as you inhale, lengthen. Exhale, pull knees in. And when you've had enough, you can gently release. It's a good time to maybe introduce happy baby, reaching for your big toes or outside your feet. You can gently rock back and forth, side to side. From happy baby, I like to go to a wide leg straddle, so now extending through the legs, out to the heels. And ending this little flow with down angle, bring the soles of your feet together. You can add or subtract from all these supine postures, however you'd like. With soles of your feet together, letting the knees open away. Gently pull feet towards navel. And when you've had enough, gently bend the knees, feet to the floor. Take the legs out. We'll find a resting pose, Savasana, for a few deep breaths. When the palms face up. And the last little inversion option, starting with your knees bent, take it to a shoulder stand. This will give a few. If you're not quite familiar or confident with shoulder stand, you can start with kind of this candlestick shape, with just keeping the feet up. Certainly good for your heart. You can also use the wall if this is a little too strenuous, keeping the feet up by themselves. Hands by your side. If you're familiar with shoulder stand, you can move right into it as you roll up the spine, hands towards those external obliques. As you lift feet up, as if you're going to touch the ceiling. Again, if that is too much or not quite to that stage, you can always use the wall. Trying to demonstrate here. Getting your sit bones as close to the wall as possible. With your feet flat to the wall, hands by your side. And you can slowly start to walk your feet up as you find that balance on the shoulders. And eventually, once from there, you can start to lift feet all the way up. Maybe remove one foot from the wall, the other foot. And again, it is a shoulder stand, so make sure your neck feels good. If you've been in shoulder stand for a while, you may have already moved to plow, just lowering feet behind your head. If that's not quite feeling as juicy, then you can slowly subtract from that. And at your own conscious pace, we'll segmentally place your spine to the floor. You can use your hands by your side. I really like to move slower than maybe you initially would. You can bend the knees or lower the legs out long. Once more to bring knees towards your chest. Then we'll end our flow with a final supine twist or any spine twist of your choice. But if you're already here on your back, it's nice to bring knees together. We'll let the knees fall, let's say to the right. You can take the arms out to a T if that feels good. Looking for a little more, you can use your eyes to look towards the left. This is in the opposite direction of your knees. You can also play with a little rotation of the hands, either palms to the floor, or palms facing up. Maybe a little of both. You can stay here as long as you'd like. Just make sure to bring eyes up, knees up, and do the other side at your own pace. So now knees to the left. Taking the gaze towards the right. At your own pace. Coming back, chin up, knees up. Once more, to give yourself a nice loving hug of gratitude. Then finding your final Savasana. This is where we'll end our sequence. Of course, you can feel free to add any more. If you'd like to keep moving, please do so. Please use a final Savasana at the end of your yoga practice. Letting your toes fall away, palms facing up, or any meditative posture of your choice. Which I like to end my own practice with some final oceanic breathing. If you'd like to join me, being completely relaxed, imagine you can't move. As that next inhale comes around, deep in it. By a long, audible exhale. And inhale all the way from your toes, your fingertips. Long exhale. And inhale your own greatness and believe it. Exhale.